second. Is a 15-second mindful smile. So during the 15 seconds while we're smiling, we're also connecting with our body, our thoughts, our emotions, and our breath. So beginning now, big smile. Okay, and number 2, warm-up exercise. Mindful breathing. We're going to do that for 2 minutes, and then I'll introduce today's 8-minute practice. So coming to a comfortable position, lining up the head, the neck, and the spine. If you're sitting, standing, you can do as well, or even walking. Eyes open, closed, or glancing down, whatever works best for you. I always like to encourage creativity and imagination with developing your own personal mindfulness practice. So beginning with the mindful breath, we're going to be breathing in and out through the nose as we embody that sense of alert attention and also self-acceptance, just accepting who we are in this moment. Breathing naturally in and out through the nose. Noticing how the lower abdomen moves with each in-breath and out-breath. On the in-breath, it expands. And on the out-breath, it settles back down again. Breathing. Staying with the breath. Noticing when the breath changes from time to time. Maybe it speeds up or it slows down. But just staying with what's natural for you. And also noticing when the attention wanders, when it moves away from the breath. Where does it go to? Maybe it goes to part of the body, or an emotion, or a thought. Just taking note of that, and then bringing the attention back to breathing. Breathing. Staying with the breath. Breathing in and out through the nose. Full attention on experiencing each breath cycle. How do you experience breathing? All right. And so for today's 8-minute practice, we're going to do a combination of two mindfulness practices. The first one, for the first half of the 8 minutes, we're going to do mindful listening. And I'll guide you through that practice. And then for the second half of the practice today, we're going to do mindful thinking. I'll also guide you through that part of the practice as well. So once again, coming to our posture, being mindful of how our posture is, want to put ourselves in a comfortable position. And once again, embodying that sense of alert attention and self-acceptance. And then bringing our attention to listening. Very simple. Sound can come from two directions. It can come from outside of us, or it can come from the inside. So paying close attention, noticing. Internal sounds could be something as simple as just swallowing saliva and maybe hearing a click in your ears. That's what I hear. Or it could be just a gentle ringing, slight ringing in the ears. In yoga, we call that the Om sound. Just a slight ringing. Or if you're hungry, your stomach could be gurgling. Those are examples of sounds that come from inside the body. And then outside the body, it could be anything external from you. It could be people moving around outside of where you are. Maybe there's a fan in your room or sounds in the neighborhood. Just focusing in on that sense of hearing. It's good practice to use the five senses to connect to the body, to the present moment. And today we're zeroing in on that sense of hearing. Staying with hearing. Just listening either to external sounds or internal sounds. Very simple practice. Just engaging that one sense as a means of connecting to the body being that doorway into the present moment. Listening. What do you hear? And like we do with all mindfulness practices, when the attention wanders, coming back to where we are. In this case, it's listening, sense of hearing. And now, shifting the attention to mindful thinking, noticing thoughts as they come and go in your field of attention. I'm not going to be too specific with this because I find that people experience thoughts in different ways. So using your own creativity and imagination to connect to how you experience thinking. Some people may see images, some people may hear sounds. And it could be a number of different ways to experience thinking. Staying with those thoughts, noticing how they come and go, and keeping your attention right there with the thoughts. Thinking. If you get lost, use your breath to come back to the present moment and then resume placing your attention on thinking. Noticing how you experience thoughts. You may even notice from time to time that there's a space between one thought and the next. Allowing yourself to explore that space until the next thought comes. Thinking. Thinking is another way that we connect to the body. And the whole idea of mindfulness is to stay connected to the body being that pathway into the present moment experience, thinking. What thoughts are you noticing? What thoughts are you experiencing? And how are you experiencing them? Thinking. Very simple practice. Staying with those thoughts. Noticing if there's a space between thoughts. And also staying with that experience until the next thought comes around. And now, if your eyes are closed, let's open them. Let's finish up the practice, continuing the practice of thinking, mindful thinking, but with our eyes open. we want to build that bridge between this formal practice, meditation practice, and bringing that same skill set into our everyday lives. So seamless transition between this practice and everyday activity. And that's facilitated by finishing up each practice with the eyes open, continuing to practice as we are right now, thinking. All right, so that's our practice for today. And Margaret's got a question for us for today. And she wants to know if mindfulness practice can help to lower her blood pressure. She's got high blood pressure. And so I'll comment about that in two ways. Number one, a vast amount of research out there about using mindfulness to reduce blood pressure. And of course, it does show that mindfulness is very, very effective in reducing blood pressure. And I'd like to also add that in my own personal experience, not just with my own practice of myself, but with teaching thousands of people over many, many years, many of whom had high blood pressure, they've told me that over a very relatively short period of time, they started to notice a reduction in their blood pressure. In fact, for some people, it only took maybe a week or so, 2 weeks tops, of steady practice each day to begin to lower their blood pressure. And certainly after 8 weeks of practice, in most cases, the blood pressure has almost completely normalized. And so that's why it's one of the many reasons why it's so important to practice mindfulness. We want to keep that blood pressure at safe levels. So yes, Margaret, mindfulness is very, very effective at keeping blood pressures at normal levels, at safe levels. So let's finish up today's practice with another 15-second mindful smile. So here we go. And that's it for today. Always enjoy spending time with you and look forward to our next get together. In the meantime, be well and take care.